Hello, this is Almir. It's Geek Time again. Time for another episode of Hanging Out with a Software Engineer. Today's topic is going to be an interesting one because it's at a high level one, not much of low level information, but it's important one to discuss. So today's topic is software engineers do care about the business value, and I'll explain this. So let's start from the beginning. You are in the university and you're graduating, and on day one you start a professional job, software engineering job. At that time you're overwhelmed by the whole situation, coming out of college where it's totally different environment, coming into a professional environment, and there are things that you did not expect. So you're overwhelmed a little bit. So the main focus there is for you is to get understand the technical details, make sure that you can develop and perform at the level that the rest of the engineers are performing at. At that time you are struggling just to keep at the level where the rest of the team is, and most of your focus is on the engineering, on low level technical things and gaining that low level technical knowledge. Basically at that time, software engineer at that level cares and is mostly motivated by technical details, optimizing the code, optimizing your for loops, optimizing the algorithms and improving the performance. That's what excites software engineers at that level. As you then later advance through your career and you become software engineer level 2, senior software engineer, or solutions architect, as you advance through your career, you find yourself interested in other things, and you find yourself being motivated by other things. But what are these other things? So besides still being motivated by the technical details, what are the other things that you could be motivated by? One other things that I found in my career that motivates me is when I can relate the few lines of code or a module or a library or an application that I wrote, how that relates to revenue, to the revenue numbers for the company, and how does it impact the end customer. Basically knowing how few lines of code you wrote or an application impacts that revenue for the company, and how it impacts the end customer, or how it helps the end customer in a positive way, or how it may impact customer in a negative way. Understanding that relationship is something that started motivating me earlier in the career. Then later, understanding the true objectives of your managing director or your CEO, understanding their objectives, and when they talk at the high level what they want to accomplish for the business, that's another level, another thing that can motivate me in the software engineer on day to day. And I can translate that knowledge or that information lay down into the application code, and then you actually end up writing better application code. Those 10 lines of code end up being better 10 lines of code. So there is a good relationship, but there is a defined relationship here between the application you write, how it relates to the revenue and the end customer experience, and then objectives of your managing director and your CEO, and how you can translate that and motivate yourself back into writing better application and better those 10 lines of code that you write will take into consideration things that CEOs, your CTOs are talking about. This topic obviously is a short one. There's not much more to talk about this. It's obviously about the motivation and what motivates you as a software engineer. To reiterate, or in conclusion, junior software engineer may be motivated by only technical details and optimizing the code. As you advance through your career, what motivates you or could be motivating you is the relationship between how your application, your lines of code affect the revenue for the company, the end customer experience in a positive or negative way. And then also the third level is CTO or CEO or managing director in your company talking about their objectives, their ideas, what they're thinking about, and then you translating, being motivated by that, translating that down to the floor with software engineers on the floor and writing better applications. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep geeking out.